girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Friday, my friends. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good morning, Vietnam. Morning, Margin, Sun, Golf Nut, Robert, Barefoot Sailing Adventures. LM Jams 69, appreciate you. Thanks for joining the support of the stream. Pat, Al Hawk 2. Robert. Morning, everyone. Morning, David. Britt. What's up, Britt? Morning, guys. Happy Friday. From Italy, huh? Nice. Need a shot of Cuban coffee? Cafe Cubano? Cafe Cubano. I already finished mine today. I got the Cafe Bustelo, the Cafe Bustelo beans in the espresso machine today. So I'm wired. Greetings from Poland. Damn. $1 million trade, yeah. It's gonna be a while for that joint. All right. Press that like button. 700 people, 200 likes. I agree with you, Margin. Come on. Let's get those likes going. All right. So yesterday, man, this this market has showed us that you cannot have a bias at any point. Again, yesterday, actually some really nice fades off 18,250, right? In the morning live stream, we left the live stream talking about that 18,250 possible rejection play off the 200, and it came in pretty nicely early morning. But it had to be, again, just a profit-taking scalp move. And, you know, I did did that yesterday on Nvidia. We took the 18250 fade and the NASDAQ and the Nvidia 10150 fade, and had a really nice move, about 70% on the contracts. But if you did not take profits, I mean, you're just slapped in the face again. So, man, this market again, just you gotta be a profit taker. We've been talking about this for months now, and it seems to still be the same thing, man. You just can't quite trust anything for too long. So, I'm happy to be in that. This is when, that mindset, how I trade, where I take those profits really quickly, the 10, 15% scalp off. If I'm up 10, 15%, I'm taking some off. I'm taking some off at 20%, taking some off at 30%. The downfall of that idea and that systematic approach is that, a lot of times there's going to be things that move 100, 200%, and I'm going to be sitting, in maybe a quarter of the size that I was. But on the flip side, this is continuously protecting me from big switches and big flips on the market. And if the market does flip and I'm already scaled out of 3/4 of my position, then so be it. Who cares? So while that system and that mentality, limits my upside, it also greatly limits my downside, and I'll take that any day of the week. So I think, again, just another reminder, if you get a nice 15, 20% scalp in this market, I would be profit taking. I'd be taking some off. I wouldn't be marrying anything, because yesterday you had to flip. And we actually did a good job of flipping yesterday, which I'm very happy about. I definitely have not flipped very often this week. I've always been looking for that downside move. But yesterday seemed like it was required. You sort of had to flip on this market. And once you got over that 18,250 yesterday, it was just a grind and grind and grind. And it was one of those moves that I've seen before, that if you keep on trying to short it, if you keep on trying to short it, if you keep on trying to short it, and you keep on trying and you keep on trying, you just keep getting caught up, right, and taken out and taken out. So pretty much relieved all of my short side exposure yesterday. Took some longs over that 18,250, and that was pretty much my day. And so this morning we are at the major QQQ and SPY level. We're actually right below it. As we approach the open here, we were above it for a little bit, right? We were above it for, I don't know, maybe an hour or 2 hours, but we have flipped back below it. So this is very interesting. This is a major pivot spot for the market. This is going to be a very important Friday. So let's go ahead and jump into the levels that we need to watch here, because this is a big spot here for the SPY and QQQ. As you guys can see from the live stream title, I really believe this is a major spot, and really just a huge pivot spot for the market. So let's see how this day plays out. But I think number one and most important, as this market has really shown us, is that we really can't trust a single direction for much more than a day, because there has been there was a meme that I saw. Chris posted that meme yesterday. I don't know if I can find it, but it was like Monday morning recession, Tuesday morning recession's gone, Wednesday morning recession's back, and then Thursday recession's over, right? It's like the last 4 days you have had an emotional flip on this market almost every single day. So very interesting. Which is the true direction? Still to be seen. Still to be seen. Still to be seen. So here we go. Today, looks like on my calendar, nothing. I mean, that's pretty nice. If that's true, I mean, I'll look around at some other calendars, but that looks to be a blank Friday here. Yeah, totally blank Friday on the economic, both on Market Watch and on Forex Factory. I got nothing for the economic calendar, so we are a economic calendar. We are free of any economic calendar today, which is nice. I like that. Don't have to worry about any data coming out intraday. Earnings today. What the hell is that? Hold on. I've seen this stock. I've seen this symbol before. Oh, Canopy Growth. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. But today, earnings today, you can see right here. Canopy Growth, CGC, Nikola, scam company, Nikola, Embraer, and that's about it. How did Elf and Soundhound do? And Trade Desk? Elf, nothing. TTD, A little bit upside. And what was the other one? Soundhound. What is it? SOUN? Nothing. All right. So not much there on the earnings side. So we can just get straight into the levels here. Let's do it. Let's jump straight in. Means there'll be a surprise announcement. Possibly. All right. Let's jump straight in. So we are at the major 18.5 spot. It's sort of like this 18.5. I haven't been able to, it's been very sloppy, and it was sloppy sort of towards this after hours here. It's anywhere between, it looks to me like this 18.560 high and this 18.500 level here. I think right now, if I had to be honest, I think the clearest thing to look at here is really 18.4. 18.400 on the NASDAQ futures looks to be sort of that clear level that's really responding relatively nicely on this market, right? You can see 18.4, which was this hold yesterday, which was the sort of failures, which ended up turning into a support midday. This 18.4 right here, you can see 18.4 was also that level that caused the aggressive downside on Wednesday, right? After we rejected 18.4, we saw that downside move. 18.4, 18.4, right? Tried to hold here. Once it failed, caused downside. 18.4 here. And then this is your 18.4 where that gap, sort of where you had that gap right there at 18.4. So I sort of like 18.4 more than anything else, and I would be very cautious on short side today into 18.4. So just be aware of that, right? If we go into this 5-minute chart, we definitely saw the 18.4 hold near close yesterday. You guys see right there, and you saw that 18.4 hold here in the pre-market, and we're coming down to that 18.4 again. So for me today, more than anything, is 18.4, right? I definitely don't want to be caught shorting into this, right? That's why I don't even know if I want to have a level above, right? I don't really know if I even want a level above here because I don't want to get in any situation where I, see an 18.5 rejection. I try to short 18.5, and then it moves right into 18.4, and then 18.4 bounces, and then I'm just getting stuck shorting into this 18.4 level. So I might alleviate myself on my charts of any levels up here because really to me it's just about 18.4. If we do get under that 18.4, then I think you could possibly look to short today towards that 18.250, right? I think there could be a little bit of a give-up move towards that 250 again, towards that 200 SMA, right? And if you hold above 18.4 and if you're trading above 18.4, I really don't have interest in shorting into it, right? Because I saw yesterday a very aggressive hold of that level towards the end of day, right there. So I really don't want to short into this right there, right? I'm not interested in taking entry short right into this level and then getting stuck in something like that. So I think I'm going to really trust in that 18.4 today, right? We can very clearly see how it extends since last week, right here, right here, right here, right? And if we sort of ignore some of these wicks, if you go to like the 30-minute or even like the hourly chart, right? If we look at this hourly chart, it looks like those hourly candles really did close, under 18.4. Under 18.4, under 18.4, those closures above 18.4, right? And that closure above 18.4 and closure below 18.4. So when I zoom out and look at the hourly chart, I think that 18.4 level really is that level. All right. So I'm going to definitely have that there. That's definitely a spot I'll be watching today. I'll look to see if that holds. If we do maintain above this 18.4 today, I would assume that this market can maintain strong, right? Can sort of create this hold level above this 18.4. I think that's something to be paying attention to. If we fail below that, I absolutely believe that you could see that weakness come in today, guys. That could be that weak move again today. We could get it, right? So if we break below this 18.4 here intraday and we start to see, some kind of a rejection below it, we might see that retest of the 200 SMA and that 18.250, okay? So 18.4, 18.250, two levels that I'm watching below. If we break below both of those, we're right back into that downside, downside opportunity on this market. To the upside, it looks to me very clear right here, 18,800. That still is just a monster, very clear level, right? Look at this. Previous lows, previous highs, 18,800 is still that major spot above that we need to be careful of at all times here. that really could be, right, where we push into and start to reject again, right? It's very possible. You can see how major that 18.8 is right there. So 18.8 NASDAQ futures, 18.4 I think is the big spot today. Under 18.4, I think you get weakness towards the 200 SMA. And if you break this 200 SMA, yeah, it's game time to the downside once again. Okay, so very clear there in my opinion. 18.4, 18.250, under 18.250. I think the selling starts really coming in again, back down towards these lows, right, that we tested yesterday. So, yeah, that 200 SMA might be the spot that we have to pull back to today, right? This could be a very interesting pullback long today, right? It very could be, right? So if we do break down into that 18.250 today, guys, I would be very careful being too aggressive short on the, same thing, right? 18.250, 250, 250, 250, and that 200 SMA. If you break down into that 200 today, be careful entering short at this level. This could be sort of that pullback long level that sort of creates that next, maybe higher low and creates that next higher high. So be aware of that 18.250 as well. Don't get too aggressive under 18.4. I think there's some opportunity to scout below it, but make sure you're exiting, those short side plays as you approach that daily 200. That's big, right? That's the daily 200, guys. That ain't no joke. Okay, daily 200 SMA is a monster level on the market. All right, QQQ. Let me go into my daily chart levels because this is very important today, and we need to pay attention to this, guys. This is huge, okay? This is very big for the QQQ. And let me make sure I get this point across today because this will be something we watch for probably the next few weeks. Right here, this candle right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in. Let me zoom in over here to this channel, right? That was going on between late February and mid-April. This channel right here, right? You can see the channel that we were trading in, that we ended up failing below and causing downside. When we got back above it, it caused upside, right? You can see how important that 432 level is. But to the upside, right? What is the high of this candle right here? See this candle right here? That candle right there, the high of that candle is 449.34. That's the high of this candle right here. 449.34. And then let's go ahead and go to the right here. Look at that, 449.34. We held it and we caused upside, right? So previous high into support, creating upside. Let's keep going. Look at where we're at today, right? Look at where we're at today. We've been at, right? Let me go ahead and get more time here. Look at where we've been at and been rejecting and sort of been, dancing around. It's right here, guys. Look how important we are. 449.34, that exact daily high is the exact rejection point from Wednesday, right? That caused that big downside. And it is the exact level that we're still just sort of dancing around today, right? Look at this. 449.34, that major daily chart. You can see that rejection here. You can see the Wednesday rejection here. And you can see we're still dancing under it today. So what happens at this level is, I think, hugely important, right? If we continue to see weakness here, we could see that downside come in again. If we do build above this level at some point, this could really be that flip on the market back to the upside. So this is a major daily chart level, and I would be paying very, very close attention to it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back to red because we are back above it. We were below it when I was making these charts. So we're back above it. We're back below it. I'm going to make it like that. And so you guys can see this is that major, I'm going to actually name it, daily pivot. Very big, right? So huge. It's almost yesterday's highs as well, Anna. Yep. So that's a must watch today. If we look at the short-term action, I think we can watch this 446 today, right here. Right, you can see this 446, 446, 446. Yesterday, 446 hold, 446 pre-market, and you're at that 446 again. So if we do hold above 446 on the Qs, I think we can come back higher and test that pivot again, right at 449.34. If we break under 446, then I think you trade to this 444. And if you break under 444, that's where I would be looking short today. This would be my short zone here, right here. This is where I'd be interested in shorting today. I'm really not interested in shorting into this. Right? This is yesterday's holds. I'm really not interested in shorting into these holds that came in yesterday and sort of grind it out, right? Anyone that was trying to short there, anyone that was trying to short here got smacked yesterday, right? If you tried to short into 446, smacked. If you tried to short into these lows here, smacked, right? So I'm not going to short into the smack levels that smacked all the shorts up yesterday, right? Right here, 444, 446. Not shorting into those today. Where I would be interested in possibly shorting is under 444, right? If we lose this, then I can see, right? I can see some, drop, open the floodgates a little bit underneath that 444. That looks clearer to me, right? You can probably drop the floor here, right? Sort of a, not as much support below, right? Under that 444. So for me, when I look at this short-term time frames, I'm not going to short into those smack levels from yesterday. I think that's very clear, right? Shorting into these levels yesterday did not create opportunity. So be careful on something like this today, right? Be careful on one of these, right? One of those types of moves. But if you can get under that 444 today, that's where I really think you can start to see those floodgates open, and that's where I would try to get aggressive on the short side, right? Only under 444. Until then, I think you could still see these levels hold the same way they did yesterday, right? Now, you do need to understand that any long today, and if it's below that 449.34, is at risk of that sort of just rejecting again. So, tight levels, but looks very important, right? Looks very important. So let's go into the ES. Let's go to that hourly chart. And so, actually, no, let's go 30 minute. 30 minute. Get more time. Right there. Okay. So, ES, 30 minute, right here, 53.60, still failing, right? 53.60, still failing. 53.60, 53.60, and 53.60, still failing on this market. So that is looking to be very important today, right? If I zoom in on this now, on the 15-minute, right? 53.60, look at this. Look at the fails here in the pre-market. Look at the fails there from Wednesday. That is the exact same failure spot, right? So 53.60 is a must-watch today. That is a huge level today. However, this is the same thing as I just talked about on the SPY. There are certain levels that I would be very careful shorting this into, right? Just because we're at 53.60 does not mean that I would ignore this here and this right here, okay? If you tried to short into the 53.25 yesterday, you got destroyed. If you tried to short into these lows here yesterday, you got destroyed, right? On this grind higher, right? This grindy upside move that was holding these levels. So if I'm going to look to short today, I better see a move under 53.25. You can possibly try to trade it from 25 to 05. But I would probably rather wait for this level to give in, right? 53.05. If you can break under that, then I think you can take advantage of this right here, right? Little downside from 53.05 to 52.80. That's probably the downside move that you could look for today. That's if you break under this low and this low from yesterday, right? Look at how clear that is. So as you move down here, right, some people might be getting a little aggressive on that short side idea off 53.60, but this could do this, right? We could do this today. I'd be very careful of that, right? Look at what it did yesterday, guys. It's the same thing, right? You pulled back off 60 into that 25, held up. Pulled back off 60 into the 25, held up. You're pulling back off 60 into the 25. If you get too aggressive short here, right, this could be where you lose today. This could be the exact spot that shorts end up losing today if they short into 25 and it bounces again. So be careful at that 25, right? I'd want to see under it to confirm some weakness. If you get under that 25, possibly into 05, right, then you got to be careful that 05 holding. And then under 05, that's where I think you might be able to get it to free up a little bit. Okay? 53.06 is clearly that high. So if you do long today off something, right, of course, it goes both ways. If you long off 25, you're only longing into 60. So again, pretty tight ranges here, but very important ones to pay attention to what this market does today. If we get over 53.60, then I think you could see that upside continuation. I wanted to talk about what you could see over that 449.34. Sorry, I forgot to talk about that. Over 449.34 in the Qs, right? If we do get over that daily pivot level, I think you can move up into that 455 and that 100 SMA. That's if we get up there, which is questionable still, right? You're still getting some weakness here. You're still moving very close into that 446 level. So big level there at 446, guys. We did the ES, 53.25. Let's go into the SPY. So SPY, let me change this to red because that is now under. That's a big level. And let's go into that daily chart because I want to show you how important this 531.50 is. Let me go ahead and make this correct. 531.50. And then let's move this to the left. Extend to the left. All right. Now, if TOS would let me zoom in, that would be great. Okay. So, 531.50 on the SPY. You can see right here. 1 second. I might actually just go to the 4 hour. Yeah, I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I think it's a little bit clearer on the 4 hour. So here's the 4 hour. And if I look over here at 531.50, right, look at this 4 hour chart. If I look over at 531.50 on the 4 hour chart here, this is back in May and June. You can see 531.50, 531.50, 531.50, 531.50 here and here as well. This is, what's this high right here? This is 534, okay, 534. That's a high up there. But we can see, very nice, 531.50 has been a previous major pivot spot that you are sort of sitting at right now, right? You're sort of sitting at right now. And if we look at this short term, I'm actually going to go ahead and make sure I have that 534 level on. All right, look at that. That 534 actually I think is important. So let me make sure I have that 534 level on my intraday levels. 534 was that 4 hour high that we just spotted. I think we got to watch out for that. 534. You can see that's right here, 534, and that's sort of where it failed this morning. But that 531.50 is right here at that Wednesday high. That's where we caused that big rejection point, and we are right back under it. So 531.50, 534, when we go out to that 4 hour chart, let me show you one more time. When we go out to this 4 hour chart, we can very clearly see 531.50, and we can very clearly see 534, right? Those two levels are very major on the 4 hour chart. And so now if we go back into the short-term time frames, we can see how the market is reacting to those levels in the short term. 534, 531.50, 531.50, bam, right? And we're back under that level today. So what are we watching today? What are we cautious of today? Well, we are cautious of 531.50 on the upside. We're cautious of that level causing rejections, and we're cautious of 534 causing rejections. So if we are pushing higher, we need to be careful of those two levels. On the downside, I'd be watching this right here at 528.50. You can see that, 528.50, 528.50. That is a very clear level on the 5-minute chart here from yesterday, right? So let's be careful shorting into that today. If we break under 528.50, we move into 526.50 right here. You can see that. Under 526.50, that is where I would get aggressive on the short side today. Under 26.50, I think you can start to really get a short side move underneath that into that 524. Okay? If I zoom out here and I look at this 15-minute chart, I think the most important level, right, sort of that, middle of the seesaw level, at least right now, looks to be 524. Right? You can see right here, 524, 524, 524, 524, and 524. And again, yesterday when we got over it, we saw that upside move. So 524, definitely a lot of reactions there. So be aware of that level as well. All right? So today, 528.50, let's be careful into that. Let's be careful into 526.50. If we break both of those, then I think the downside comes in. If you see a hold here come in today, right, this could really be a hold area. So let's be careful of that today. And of course, we're watching the 31.50 and the 34. All right. That's the SPY. That's the futures. That's the SPY QQQ. We'll look at them again towards the end of the stream. Let's go to the IWM real quick. IWM really held on to that 200 level yesterday. It got above that 203. Look at that hold above 203. It held above 205, right? So 203, 205, two big levels below. You can see the holds there at 205, the holds there at 203, and the holds there at 200. Very nice holds. Today, I'd be watching what happens at this 207. If you hold this 207, then it could move higher. If you break under 207, you'll move back to the 205. The major level above on the IWM still looks to be 210 right here. This still looks to be that major spot on IWM that will probably be very difficult to get above. So 210 still looks to be that major level. All right, let's jump into Tesla. So Tesla, I would look for some pullback longs today on Tesla down at 195. This is something I'm definitely going to be watching today. Beverly, thank you. Beverly Simmons, appreciate that. I would look for a pullback long possibly at 195 today on Tesla. We saw 195 create a very nice long yesterday. So right here above 195, we saw early morning rejections at 195, right? Rejections, under 195. And once we got back above it, look at the longs that came in above 195. So I am definitely interested in looking for a long off of 195 today if we can get back to it. 195, 195, 195, 195, 195. If we can see a hold here today, this could be sort of an interesting long idea. I definitely would be watching that. If you get under 195 today, then you are back right into the shit show. That could move lower. So 195, I think, is the major spot here today to be watching for. And then, of course, you guys know the story up here. I mean, 205 and the 200 SMA just still looks very, very, very heavy. So if you do long something down at 195, you're only looking for a scalp, really, guys. You're not really looking for Tesla to break above these highs. If you do get Tesla to push higher this morning, you could look for that fade as well, right? Up at that 205 area. Nvidia. All right, so Nvidia is at a major test. This is a huge test for Nvidia today. This is, sort of the must break. This is the must watch spot for Nvidia. Anywhere between this 108 and 109 area. You got major candles closing at 108, but you do have some wicks up it to 109. This is going to be a huge spot for Nvidia today. You can clearly see the weakness that has come off this level previously. This could be another big fade spot for Nvidia. So I'll definitely be watching for some potential short-term fades on Nvidia if we break under, I think, this 105 level. If we break under 105 and that 200 SMA, the 100 SMA, there could be some fades that we look for in Nvidia. You can see this 100 SMA sort of coming across the screen. I'm a little bit cautious of this 104 because there was some nice support at 104. Right, you can see right here. Let me see if this 104 dates back a little bit. Let me see. Hold on. Let me take a quick peek at this 104 level. Is there anything that dates back at 104 that makes me think that it could hold there? Not really. I mean, you're sort of just in a channel at this point. 104, maybe a little something. There's a little something here. There's some reactions around that 104, 104. Definitely some reactions yesterday at 104. But I think this 105 and 100 SMA is really the level that you're going to want to see hold here. So if I look at this 15-minute chart here, if I delete this level for a second, you can see that Nvidia is going to be right where that 100 SMA is. You can see right there. So I'd be watching this 100 SMA today. If you get a drop on Nvidia today, I'd be watching it down into that 101.50 again. That could be something to watch, down into that 101.50. That would be an interesting spot for some potential longs today for me, right? 101.50, 101.50, 101.50, 101.50 hold yesterday, which created a very nice long. So I'm definitely interested in that 101.50 pullback. That's definitely somewhere I'd be eyeing for some short-term longs there. Obviously, that 97 hold came in very strong. And clearly, you're just failing this 108 again, right? 108, 109, still very aggressive failures up at these supply highs. And you're seeing it sort of slide this morning. So, Monday's highs, 104. Yeah, sort of. 104, 103.50. I think I'd probably, I don't think I would, I think I'd let it slide to 101.50. I don't really like this area in here. It's not really anything I trust, right? Anything between the areas I trust look to be here and here. These look like the big levels, right? Between this area, it looks sort of back and forth, right? So I don't know if I love anything in the middle there. I think this is very clear, and I think this is very clear, right? Those are two very clear spots. So I'd be more interested in that. Yeah, I think today you're going to have to just watch Nvidia with the market, right? If the market doesn't hold 18.4 here, if the S&P does not hold this 53.25 here, if the SPY does not hold this 528.50 here, and the Qs do not hold this 446 here, then you probably can trade Nvidia lower, through this channel. But I would be paying attention to what that market's doing, because if the market does hold those levels, then Nvidia probably holds, maybe around this 100 SMA, holds around this 104 as well. Okay. AMD. So AMD failing this 139 spot again, right? You can see right here, I'm actually going to delete that 137 because it looks like more like it's 139, right? Look at this. Another big fail on AMD, 139, 139, 139, right? You can see failing again at that exact same level. So that's very clear. I would be looking to see if AMD can either hold 134 or fail under 134. 134, 134, 134. A little bit of action there, some fake outs above. Yesterday, 134. I would be looking to see, does it hold 134 today? Or are you failing below it again? Right? So I think that 134 spot is going to be very important for AMD today. Are we going to see a maintain here? And are we going to push back into 139? Or are we going to start seeing this thing fail back under 134 and start to create downside? That's what I would watch on AMD. TSM, really nice gap up this morning. TSM, guys, has been, I think, the strongest comeback stock here out of almost anything. TSM is over like last week's highs as of, the gap up this morning. Obviously, it's pulling back now, but this morning on the gap up, it was above last week's highs, which is pretty crazy. So TSM has been a monster comeback name. I would be watching very closely what happens right here at this gap fill level today at 164.50. You can see right here this 20 SMA and this gap fill at 164.50. This is definitely something I'd be watching today. Yeah, that's also a major level here on the hourly chart. Let me go to the hourly chart. If we go to 164.50, right, on the hourly chart, you can see right here, you can see some holds here, right, a little bit of a hold and rejection here. And so I'd be watching what happens at that 164.50 on TSM. Nice little gap fill here, could be good for it. Let's see what happens at 164.50. If it breaks back below it, then I think it gets weak again. But 164.50 is that level I'm going to watch today. SMCI staying very weak here, right? Look at this weakness on SMCI. Look at this 530 spot. We had this 530 spot on our charts yesterday in the pre-market live stream. Here on the live stream, we talked about that 530 fade, and that's exactly what it did yesterday, and it looks like it's still fading it. So careful on longs on SMCI. I don't really like it into 530. Watch that 500. Watch that 480. These are two levels that I'd be very careful of on the short side. These are two potential hold levels, 500 and 480. But a nice fader here at 530. Look at this previous low, turning into highs. That's pretty clean. 2,200 people here, 700. I said 0 likes, 700 likes. Enable monetization. My monetization is enabled. There we go. Ad time. Thanks, Ponzi. All right. Let's continue after the ad. Let's go to Amazon. I think Amazon's at a very interesting spot here. I wanted to point this out. Amazon is sitting right under the 200 SMA. That is very interesting, right? That is very interesting. 200 SMA, 168.77. Very interesting spot here on Amazon. If Amazon gets under 165, then I think it could move lower. All right. If it moves under 165 today, I think it could move lower, possibly down into that 160. But I would be watching to see if 165 holds, because this is a big spot here, and you're starting to see a little bit of a hold there at 165 right now. So keep an eye on that 165. Now, the thing I want to point out, guys, if this market does get weak, or I'm sorry, if this market does get strong, if we see a situation that the market does start to rip to the upside, right? Let's just hypothetical, right? I'm not saying it will, but if you do see that market start ripping to the upside, the high of this candle right here is 168.77, and above that is the gap fill from earnings, right? This is an earnings gap down right here, between 168.77 and around that 183. That is also the 200 SMA, right? That exact same level is where that 200 SMA is sitting, and you can see it right here, right? So I would be very interested to see if Amazon starts to get a ripper, right? If you start to get a ripper on Amazon, and you start to get a ripper on the market, and you do get above that 200 SMA, and you get above that 168.70, right? This could be a really interesting gap fill move. I'd be paying attention to. That's all dependent on the market, though. That is fully dependent on the market. I am unsure when that happens or how that happens, but that is something you probably want to have an alert set, right? Just put an alert there. Know if Amazon's getting above that level, and probably an opportunity to be spotting and watching, okay? Google. Ooh, ouch. Ouch, Google. Ouch. Yeah, that's ugly on Goog. That's real ugly on Google's almost, is Google as bad as AMD? Has Google been a great stock? Not really. I mean, sort of. I guess you could say it has been. But I don't know. Google feels a little bit weak these days. Just hasn't felt like the strong name that some other names have been. This looks very weak on Google. Look at this. All right. That 166, big rejection, big time fail here. You're back under 164. You're also back under 162. Damn, you've broken everything here today. 164, 166, 162. If you stay under 162, I mean, I don't see much support on this thing until 158, to be honest. I really don't see much here until 158. So if you stay under this 162 today, if you start to see failures here and this market starts to get weak, I'd be looking for this 158 personally. Yeah. So 162, 164, 166, very clear supplies. And if you stay under that 162 today, I think you can look for that fade towards 158. So watch that 162 level. That thing's weak. Meta, now on the flip side, Meta has been the strongest stock on the stock market. I actually think this is the strongest stock on the stock market. I mean, tech-wise, right? There's obviously other names like, Eli Lilly. There's been an absolute monstrosity of a stock. Costco's a monstrosity of a stock. Oh, my God. Costco really did this, huh? See, this is why I need to I need to start watching Costco more often. Because I was so interested in this long off 790 on Cost. Man, Team Cost. Who remembers Team Cost? Fuck. Damn. I forgot about this. I was very interested in this. Look at this thing. Look how beautiful that is. That's perfect. That's perfect stuff. Previous high. New low. Look at that thing. Right at the 100 SMA too. Right at the 100. Oh, that's a beautiful one. That's what you love to see right there. Right? That break and retest. Break that previous high. Retest it right here. Retest it there. Oh, that's nice. So, damn. Damn. Well, that's gone. But that is sick. Back to Meta. This thing's been a monster. All right, really hasn't dropped at all with the tech market. And let's go to that 15-minute chart. And let's take a quick peek at this thing, right? Look at this level here at 500. And then watch this level here at 495, right? So 495, big spot. Went to 50 SMA, very strong demand there. And then I'd watch this 500 today. If you can hold 500, I think this can push higher. If you break down again, watch 495 for holds. But I would watch both these levels today. 500, 495. The only problem I have here is 510. 510 is a monster level. right? That's got to be a break level, right? You got to get over 510. This is a big spot. 510, you got to see a nice solid hold above 510 to confirm more upside. So be careful of 510, right? That's a big spot, but I would be interested in the pullback longs for 500, 495. Man, that Costco, that hurts a little bit, man. That hurts. That's a sick trade. All right. Let's go to, where are we going? Are we going to Netflix? Nah, not really. 6:30 Netflix, not really that interested. Go to Coinbase real quick. Oof, nice rejection on Coinbase. So Coinbase, you can see right here, same level, 201. I tried to short it yesterday under the 188. I lost on that. That took me out. Took a loss on that one, but of course, happy I did because that thing went up all day. You can see right here, 188 held. 201 rejecting. So we're in the exact same channel on Coinbase. We're on the exact same channel on Coinbase since we started here, right? Look at this thing. Same channel. A little bit of a dip below, got right back up it, right? So I'd watch out for that 188 demand. I'd watch out for that 201 supply. It's the exact same channel. Yeah, Apple, man. Apple's either going to just make it sexy or it's going to fake out so many traders. I don't know what to expect here on Apple. But, I mean, this is just quite literally the sexiest little wedge, bear flag, whatever you want to call it. I think this is more of a wedge than anything, right? Because you got your flat top and you got your upside move. Bear flags are sort of like this. Bear flags are more like higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows into the supply, right? That's a bear flag. Something along these lines, right? If I can get this to work. More of a bear flag like that. But Apple, I think more has this flat top, right? Very clear flat top and sort of this higher low formation. Low, 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 right? This higher low formation right into a major smackdown. I don't know, right? I don't know what to expect here on Apple. All I know is that if Apple does fail, right, if Apple does make this move, it's going to be next leg lower on the market. That's for sure. All right, so I would be watching this. 210, 207, 204, and 201. Those are your previous, those are your lower highs that have been created, right? I'm sorry, higher lows. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low, right? Creating those higher lows. So be careful here, right? Be careful. I wouldn't just short. I would be very careful shorting this aggressively if you've been creating these higher lows, right? That's my problem here. Because you could just do this and hold again, right? You could do this and hold again, right? So I don't love it, right? It's a tough trade because you don't know if Apple is going to hold 210. You don't know if it's going to hold 207. You don't know if it's going to hold 204, right? You can try to scalp it under 210, under 207, under 204, right? You can try to scalp that. But the swing trade idea is tough because it's hard to know whether this is going to maintain. Okay? So watch that 210, but that supply above is about as clear as can be. 213 to 215, that is very clear. So be careful up there. Palantir. Man, what a hold on Palantir, man. We talked about this 26, did we not? All right? 26. What a beautiful hold. You can see right here on the hourly. What a beautiful hold in that 1 hour. Right? Look at that 26. Bam. Beautiful hold. Palantir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Post earnings. Just maintaining above 26. Finally got a nice move there. It's all about 30. It's all about 30. It is all about 30. 30 to 26 has been your channel, right, on Palantir. That's very clear. If you can hold above 30, you might be going, right? You might be going. So I'd be looking out for that 30 break for sure. I'd be looking out for that 30 break for sure. Yeah. Watch out for that 30 break on Palantir. I'm actually going to set an alert there because I actually might be willing to be interested in that. That's definitely interesting. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get a quick peek at that NQ so we can see, right? We can see what we talked about, okay? What I'm talking about is not total bullshit, all right? So you can see right here, 18.4 is starting to show you something. So we need to be aware there. Now, if we break under this, guys, right, that sort of shows us where we might be able to catch a short today, Okay, we might be able to catch a little short-term short under that 18.4. But we can see 18.4 is starting to show you a little dance. All right, we can see that QQQ showing you a little dance. All right, I'm actually going to move this down to, it looks like it's 445. It might be back at that 445 level because that's a 445 level I've been watching for a few weeks now. Or for this week, sorry, not a few weeks. It might be 445, right? We might want to pop that thing down to 445, you know, right? Because you got that low there. You got that wick low that just showed up. So I might be willing to pop that down to 445 because 445 has been a little bit of a level I've been watching. You can also see that from yesterday, right? Right here, right there around 445.30, right? And you saw that come down into that there. S&P 500, right? Look at that. 53.25, same level. Bam. Might even be 53.20, but I'm going to just fine tune this as the day goes on. 53.25, you can see that. Oh, this thing's talking. Look at the top left. Look at the top left. It's talking for me. Everything I say, it's writing in my ticker box. Spy. Oh, it's talking again. 528.50, you can see right there. Very clear. All right, guys, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. I need to figure out, can someone in the live stream tell me how to turn that off? Because I haven't gotten a solid answer. How do I turn off push or speak to text or text to speech, whatever it is? How do I turn this off on Mac? I'm going to stay in the live stream until we figure this out. So we're chilling here until I get an answer. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It didn't work, Ty. Show me again, Ty. System preferences. Okay. Here we go. System preferences. Actually, no, I don't want to show you anything on my system preferences. System preferences. Accessibility. It's talking in the box here, too. Oh, my God. It's talking in the box on system preferences. Accessibility. Ticker box, I barely know her. All right, here. Windows key, Control, Enter. Check. Oh, I think that is it. Check. I think it worked. Hello? It did. System, we can click accessibility sidebar, voiceover on the right, turn off voiceover. You saw voiceover wasn't on, right? Look at this. Voiceover. It's not on. Toggle voiceover. I don't know, guys. Whatever. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on Monday. Disable dictation. Okay. Yahtzee. Command F5 is the easiest way. All right. Thank you. Yeah, it says it right there. Command F5. All right. Peace. See you Monday.